You're listening to
If Shoes Could Talk.
Epic
conversations
with
icons
of success
about
Failure.
A podcast by the Middle School Shoe Club of East Jordan, Michigan. Dream big, work hard, set goals, and give back.
Hi, my name is my name is Chicka Maddie. And how's your day?
Wow. How's my day? After that, it's kind of confusing, but it's been a good day. Thank you for asking.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we speak to Brig Sorber, an extraordinary businessman whose passion had made a lasting impact. As a successful entrepreneur and innovative leader, Brigg has made a name for himself in the moving business. He's the founder and former CEO of one of the most successful moving companies in the world, 2 men and a truck.
Brigg has a lot of jobs, but his creativity has always shown through. His success is not just measured in numbers, but in the relationships he builds.
whether he's mentoring young professionals or helping charities. Brigg embodies the values of hard work, resilience, and humility. Join us as we move in to our conversation with Brig Sorber.
Thanks for the pizza.
Yeah.
Although you did lock me out, but you made up for the pizza.
Hello, my name's Peter, and I've just been amazed. This is a wonderful conversation that you've had with other people, and yeah, I can't wait to talk to you. Like, how did you get into moving and 2 men in a truck?
Well, it started out when I was about your age. We were mowing lawns, and so we were hauling our lawnmowers behind our bikes. We had some colossal wipeouts, when somebody would ride their bike up onto somebody else's lawnmower. It pulls you off your bike in a hurry. Then we bought that old truck I was talking about, that $200 Ford pickup truck, that old beater, which I absolutely loved. And we'd throw our mowers in the back of that, and then we would mow more lawns. And then we started moving yard waste. We had a Meyer Thrifty Acre store by our house. I made a poster with rip-off phone numbers for people who wanted stuff hauled away. And we started getting calls. We started getting referrals. And then we went to a bigger truck, and then it took off.
What was your main inspiration as a child? Was it like a TV show host or a celebrity, or was it your father or something?
It probably, when I was younger, it's probably my dad. My dad was a big-time athlete. He was a running back and a punter in high school. Michigan State, Michigan, they all recruited him. He went to Miami, Florida. Didn't work out for him. He was a really good athlete, and so I always wanted to match what he had, but I just didn't have that size. Like I said, I was a pretty small kid. But I never wanted to let him down. And he's still alive. He's 86 years old. He's proud of what I've become and what I've done. But I would say that kept me going for a while. I didn't want to let him down. And I would say my grandpa, who I wrote about in my book, was a really, really good person in my life. He talked to me almost like an adult, even though I was just a kid, and even I was younger than you guys. But when I was going through a tough time, he was there. So, I learned a lot from my grandpa that I not only take raising my own kids, but also I took that in business too, how to treat people with respect.
My name is Bradley. I'm not doing Slim Shady intro. What would you consider an epic fail in your career, like one of the biggest failures you've ever had?
Oh, I would have to say professionally was bringing in a lot of a lot of technology into 2 Men a Truck that wasn't needed. It was very, very expensive. It looked really like a really neat thing to do. They were called IP phones at the time, and I introduced those to the franchisees. It cost them a lot of money. We were on the bleeding edge of technology, not the cutting edge, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is it cost a lot of people money, and it failed. And but the franchisees, some of them are very angry with me, and some of them said, "Brigg, your batting average is still really high. Let's just keep swinging the bat." So that made me feel really good, but that was a tough one.
you talk about this a little bit, but how do you view setbacks and hardships?
At first, again, I would try to avoid those at all costs. But when you try to avoid all those things, then you're not moving forward. You're not taking risks, okay? So what I do is I'll take a look at that setback. Number one, learn something from it. Don't make a mistake, and for crying out loud, don't make it again, right? Learn from it, find out how we can make it better, and then move forward. And I would tell my employees, I'm okay with you making mistakes, but makes mistakes falling forward. And what I mean by that is you're moving forward. You're taking a calculated risk. It doesn't work out. You fall down. Your idea doesn't work. Get up and brush yourself off. You're good. Learn something and move forward. The mistake that I didn't like is when people were on their heels, that they weren't on time. They didn't get something in on time, or they let something pass by, and it was more out of not paying attention or maybe even laziness. Those are two different mistakes that you can make. So if you're going to make a mistake, make a forward mistake, falling forward.
What's something about being a business owner that normal people they don't understand, they have no clue about?
You take it home with you. So, before we sold it, we had 200 employees, and I was a president and CEO for a number of years. I then hired a president. I then hired a CEO, and the CEO would report to me. But when you have that much responsibility, you're taking it home and you're living it all the time. And it's a balancing act because you have to be fair to your family and things like that. But having your own business, I don't care if it's two men in a truck, and I don't care if it's Marty's ice cream shop. It's all the same. I mean, when you own that business, you're up at night. Are my employees going to show up on time? Is my product going to show up on time? Are my customers happy? Those kind of things.
Was there ever a day that you didn't want to show up and work?
Yeah, absolutely. As the CEO of Two Men in a Truck, we had 380 locations. We had multiple franchisees. And there was a lot of times that we would bang heads. They would want to do something, and I would tell them that they couldn't. And so there'd be meetings in the morning and be like, I don't want to go. I don't want to talk to this person. This is going to be a lot of energy wasted. But it's not. And typically, when I didn't want to go to work, by the end of the day, you're like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I feel that for school a lot.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. God makes us storm fighters, not storm avoiders, okay? So if there's those times it's like everything's stacked against me, I'm just not going to go to work today, that's being a storm avoider. And God wants us to be storm troopers, to go in there, do the best that we can, and move forward.
When you did that, what did you, every morning when you wake up, you're like, oh, I really don't want to go to work today. What was the thing that you first did to tell yourself to go back? What was the first thing you do every morning?
That's a really good question. Look at the long-term goal of why are you going to work? I went to work to help people. Money was a byproduct of what I did. I enjoyed what I did. So, and I found out if you take care of the people in your office, and for me, it was taking care of my employees at our corporate office. It was taking care of the franchisees, taking care of our customers, obviously, right? Taking care of the community. And so my goal going in was to make sure everybody that wins, okay? And when that happens, money actually chases you. You don't chase it. Go in there and try to be the best for everybody.
You're listening to If Shoes Could Talk, a production of the East Jordan Shoe Club, walking in others' shoes for empathy and inspiration for your own powerful journey.
So I would hope you're good at boxes since you own a company, but why do round pizzas come in square boxes?
Probably for stacking reasons.
You'd figure that a circle could stack on a circle.
Yeah, but you want like the corners. Like, for instance, you see those boxes right there. If they were all next to each other, they can kind of lock into place, where round ones kind of would kind of roll off of each other. Yeah. That's my moving brain for you.
Okay, this one I did not come up with.
I don't want to hear your excuses.
Okay. How do you normally put toilet paper, over or under?
it's over. And because I've been married 38 years, and I was just got a tongue lashing because I went, really? I mean, it's just coming off of the same role. And so I started like watching and going to people's houses when I'm there and going like, what do they do? I never see it under. Before I never paid attention. Now I pay attention that it always goes over. As a matter of fact, I just changed it today, and I literally had this conversation with myself. So,
If your house burned down, what 3 things would you save?
well, if my wife Fran was already out, I'd probably look for. We got a big, fat, stinky old cat named Big Kitty, and I'd probably look for Big Kitty. I wouldn't look hard, but I'd look for her. Make myself feel good.
Did you ever play with toy trucks when you were a kid?
No, but this is really interesting. Matchbox cars. I had Matchbox cars. And we used to play those all the time when we were kids. We make little roads outside, like under trees and stuff. And we would always go like, man, and while we played those Matchbox cars, we would get like little trailers with boats and campers on them. And when we were kids, we were always going up north. We were always going up north. That's what we were always doing. And it was so funny because we were playing that when we were really little. And then as we got older, I ended up living in a Matchbox world. I ended up getting a cottage and coming up north and hauling all those stuff and doing that. And I talked to my brother and sister about this just last 2 weeks ago. I said, isn't it funny how we'd play Matchbox cars? We'd always go up north. And now we all have places here on Lake Charlotte.
Thank you for your time and support for the Shoe Club. You live out our values, dreaming big, setting goals, working hard, and giving back. We've enjoyed our time with you. We appreciate you and look forward to your many successes in the future.
Thank you, Brigg.
Follow these students' work at shoeclub.org and keep up to date on Facebook and Instagram. They're at EJ Shoe Club. Thanks for listening.